Hi guys, okay, so today I'm going to be doing, not a vlog, I'm going to be reacting to or answering your assumptions about me. And I thought this would be fun because, I don't know, I feel like you guys could like get to know me better and stuff like that. I don't know, I like watching them. Like my favorite creators, I love to watch these videos because I feel like I learned a lot about them, or like the personality behind the scenes. So I feel like this would be real fun. Okay, so let's start off pretty easy. The first one is, you go by Soph because you don't like your real name. That is sort of true. So my full name is Sophia, and I don't mind that. I like Sophia. What I don't like is Sophie. I think it sounds like a dog. I feel like a lot of people know that one, but yeah, I hate being called Sophie. It sounds like just animal-like or like a kid. I don't even know. No offense if your name's Sophie. And it's weird because when I meet other Sophies, it's not weird to me, but I personally just don't feel like a Sophie. Like I feel like it's either Soph or Sophia, or growing up my sister called me Thea. So yeah, I don't know, but I think like I was called Sophia like all throughout growing up pretty much. That's like all I wanted to be called. And then it's always just been that like the people closest to me call me Soph. And then I made that my username on TikTok, and so now that's what I go by. Next one is, I'm assuming that you may be young, but you are an old soul. I like 155% agree with this. I've said this since I was like really even younger. Like if you guys didn't know, I'm 21 and I'm like very youthful. Like I feel like, I mean, I look young. Everyone knows that. I know that. You don't have to tell me, okay? But I know I look young, and I'm very childlike in the sense of like what I enjoy. Like I like to go outside and like be active outside. Like I'd rather go ride a bike than drive a car and just things like that. Like I feel like I'm just like youthful in that sense, or like I still like find joy in very small things, which I think a lot of people lose and they find again later in life. But like I definitely just never lost that, and like I like to play. Like I love being around kids probably because I like to play. And I don't know, yeah, I just feel very youthful, but at the same time I feel like I have a lot of wisdom, which is kind of cool because Sophia, if you didn't know, means wisdom. And yeah, I just feel like I have a lot of wisdom about a lot of different things. I think I just have been through a lot of different types of things. Like nothing has been so severe, but I've had like a little bit of like a lot, you know? I've like had the taste of what a lot of different like tragedies and experiences feel like. And yeah, I feel like because of that, I have a lot of wisdom and a lot of information and advice to give people. And also I think a lot of that has to do with, I'm the youngest of 3 siblings, so I have an older brother and an older sister, and they're both a lot older than me. My brother's 10 years older and my sister's 5 years older, so I really watched like them at a young age. Like I saw my brother's teenage years when I was 6, and you know, like I just definitely like was aware that life isn't just childhood for a really long time. Like I remember crying when I was like 10 about not wanting to grow up. Like I hadn't grown up yet, but I was already aware that that's like a thing and that things change. And I think that like played a huge role. And then like also I just feel like, I'm gonna sound crazy, but I feel like I can like sense things that I shouldn't be able to, but it's because like I don't even know how to explain it. I sound crazy, but I can predict things really. Like it's happened a lot where I literally predict the future like to a T, or I like do something. I sound crazy, but I just feel like the soul in me knows more than like my physical being does, if that makes any sense. Like I without knowing it, am more aware of what's in front of me. I sound crazy. The next assumption is that I'm really intimidating and scary at first, but actually a sweet and kind person. I sort of disagree with this, and I'll tell you why. So I want to say yes. I think people, especially now, like, it's funny, it used to happen in high school and a little bit now, but like people would always say to me like, oh my god, I thought you were so mean before I knew you. And then they're like, but you're so different than how I like predicted you to be, or how I thought you would be, or whatever. So I think sometimes yes, but at the same time I've noticed that a lot of times when I'm in like a group of people, the person talking always chooses to make eye contact with me, and I don't know if that's just like how I engage. It's like it's like comforting, or they're like could tell that I'm listening. I don't know if it's like the way I engage in conversation that makes them feel more welcome, but I've just noticed that like if we're in a big group, they always look at me when they're talking for like the majority of it, which I love. But so I think it kind of depends. I think sometimes people are intimidated by me. I think now, just because I have a following on social media, people think I'm like the super busy, like I have more important things in the world type of person, and like I'm just not. Like I don't, like, just because I have a following does not mean I'm like a different person than the normal like 9-to-5 job working person that walks by me, if that makes any sense. Like I don't know. I think people think I'm like something to be intimidated by when I'm really not. Next question is, you've had more boyfriends than girlfriends. This is actually true. I didn't start dating girls until I was was I 18 or 19? I was 18. So all throughout middle school, high school, I dated boys. And that's a short answer. But yeah, I've dated more boys than girls. Next one is, you want to be a good human. This is so beyond true. I think like when I do something wrong, or like I'm aware I'm doing something wrong, or not even like, I don't even mean like against the law, like almost less so against the law than like morally. If I feel like I'm morally doing something wrong, it bothers me to no end. Like I feel physically ill from it. And I especially feel this way about like my past self. I feel like everybody's like at least somewhat ashamed of things they've done in the past, and I feel so sick about things that like I've done wrong to someone in the past, or things like that. Like I'm very aware of things I've done that are wrong, like morally, and they bother me because I want to be the best human that I can be, while like I don't know, I just want to make others happy while making myself happy, and it makes me like genuinely so upset, like ill, when I feel like I'm not succeeding in that. Next question is, you're secretly really sensitive. This is, I feel like, no secret. I am probably one of the most sensitive people, and I think a lot of that comes from how empathetic I am. I'm so empathetic, and I have been my whole life. Like, for example, my parents always tell me that when I was little and people would be like upset around me, like even if they were like mad at me or upset at something else, if I could tell that people around me were mad or upset, I'd be like happy. Like I've always like been very aware of other people's emotions, and it's just gotten more and more as I got older. Like especially with people I care about, if I'm around my friends, or especially Avery, if Avery's having a bad day, it is so hard for me to not have a bad day. Not because she's putting me in a bad mood, not because I'm like annoyed that she's having a bad day, none of that. It's because I feel her emotion. Like I can feel it, and it on top of that, it makes me sad that she's sad or having a bad day, and then I'm sad that I'm sad. Like I'm just so emotional and just really sensitive. Next one is, you're super sweet to people that are nice to you, but if someone gives you attitude, you will go off. This is true. I definitely give people, I definitely stand up for myself. I will say that. Like I will go to the ends of the earth for somebody, but if they're going to give me attitude, I will be so nice to you. But if you are upset with me, or like you're annoyed by me, or whatever it may be, if you then are intentionally sarcastic in a mean way towards me, or like if you're just like, if you say something that you don't mean, but it's like, it's a dig at me, but you're trying to like make it seem like a joke, like I will stand up for myself. I don't take I don't take that, basically. Like I will definitely like give people a piece of my mind if I feel like they're disrespecting me when it's like not needed or warranted. Like if I'm doing something super wrong, like yeah, like I deserve it. But if I'm just like living my life and you're just not happy with how I'm living it and you're giving me an attitude for one reason or another, or you're making rude comments or homophobic comments or sexist comments, like yes, I'm gonna stand up for myself without a doubt. Like just recently I was at a gas station and the guy that worked there that was helping us fill our tire made extremely sexist comments, and I was like just giving him a piece of my mind back. Like I will be so nice to you until you're directly mean to me, and then it's over. But like I won't ever do anything like really hurtful, but I'll just be like I'll make it clear that I'm not taking what you're giving, basically. Next is you're an extrovert, and this is pretty true. I definitely have introverted qualities. Like actually, fun fact, as a kid I was like painfully shy, like so shy. I don't think I started ordering my food at a restaurant until I was like 16 years old. Like I was so shy, but I think because I was so shy, I had to eventually learn to make up for it and like just force it. And now I'm really capable of talking to other people and really with anybody. Like I can hold a conversation with a stranger really easily. And I think a lot of that comes from jobs that I worked growing up. Like I was a birthday party host, so I was working directly with parents to like make their kids' birthday party amazing. So I had to like learn how to talk to adults. And then I was a manager at a couple places, so I think learned a lot from those jobs. But I definitely would consider myself an extrovert, but I need my time to recuperate. Like if it especially happens when people are if people come visit me, if people are in my space, I get very overstimulated and overwhelmed, and I just need like my alone time. If I go somewhere, I can talk to people all day long, but in my own house, if other people are here, I'm like this is my like zone, and now there's someone in my zone, so I feel like I can't relax. And so I definitely have introverted qualities, but I would say I'm more so an extrovert. Next is similar to one before, literally sweetest person, but if you ever get on your bad side, it's over for you. This is like somewhat true. I don't necessarily, like there's no bad side, but if you do something that hurts me or hurts someone close to me, I'm not gonna like do anything to you at this point in my life. Maybe in the past I would have, but from what I've learned and me right now, like the bad side would be that you would just not be in my life anymore. Like you would not be my friend, you'd be cut off. And I just wouldn't like make time for you anymore. But I would, at this point in my life, I would never like go off on a person really like past the point where it's like necessary. Like there's no bad side. I wouldn't like ruin your life. Like I would just not talk to you. Next assumption is you're a Biden voter. Next is you enjoy summer more than any other month. This is 500% true. Yes, that's why I moved to Florida, because I like the warm weather. It makes me happy. I struggle with seasonal depression most years, and I just really like the warm weather. I really like the sun, and I feel like I'm a type of person that needs it. I do like fall. I did somewhat miss fall this year, like the leaves changing and everything, but I hate winter so much. Like I hate the long like 6 months of winter that New Hampshire gets. And yeah, so yeah, summer's my favorite month by far, hence why I live in Florida now. Next one is you're scared to die. This is true. That's probably one of my biggest fears. Actually, it's my biggest fear. I always say, like, even in my darkest points of my life, I always said that I'd rather be so miserable, suffering so badly. Okay, I've rejoined. But like I always said that I'd rather be like miserable and homeless and have nothing than not be alive at all. I'm talking about how dying is my biggest fear. This is similar to a question from before. It says, you and Avery are both really sensitive, and she can be, but it's more so me, for sure, but she can be too. Next one is, if you hadn't come out, you wouldn't be as happy as you are now. And I think that's like, that couldn't be more true. Like, I feel like I didn't even know myself before I came out. Like, I came out older than I feel like a lot of people do. Like, I was like 19, or I was 18, but like, I feel like I didn't even know who I was until then. But since then, like, it's been more steady than it was. And I don't know if a lot of that is just because I was older or what, but I feel like before I came out, there was always something that was like off. And now, like, it came together after I came out, I guess. And then I was able to like be more myself and be more accepting of myself. And once I did that, then yeah, I would say that I'm like 110% more happy than I was before I came out. Okay, next question is that I'm the best girlfriend ever. That was sent in by my girlfriend Avery. And yeah, I have to say that's pretty true. Right?
What?
I'm the best girlfriend ever.
Oh my god, yes.
Next one is, this is like not as deep, is that my favorite color is blue, and yeah, that's my favorite color. But lately I've been liking orange a lot, but yeah, blue is my favorite color. It has been for a while. Next one is, you and Avery are very open about your relationship in public. That's so true. We don't really care. In fact, like, if we ever see someone like wearing a certain hat of some sort, you can fill in the blanks, we'll like purposely be more affectionate towards each other near them because we think it's funny to like make them mad or whatever. But yeah, we pretty much will like there's some occasions where I'll say she's my friend, but that's rare. Normally, like, we just say, like, she'll be like, oh, this is my girlfriend, or like, me and my girlfriend, to like, I mean, like, in public situations, like if we're like buying tickets to something or like whatever, like, we're just like very open about it, and just honestly do not care if someone has something bad to say. We'll just like make it even worse for them. If it bothers them, we'll bother them even more. You seem like such a chill, down to earth girl, and you are determined and hardworking. I like to think that I'm down to earth. I think comparatively to other people my age that are in similar positions as me, like as influencers, I feel like I'm more down to earth than they are. Like, I feel like I haven't let anything get to my head or like make me feel like I'm more superior to anyone. I think I've done a really good job of that. I mean, I've never even like had to really fight the urge of that. I just don't feel like that's necessary. So I like to think that I'm pretty down to earth. Like, I feel like I still like identify with the same person that I was like 10 years ago that I am as I am now. What? Does that make sense? I don't know. But yeah, I think yes. And then determined, hardworking, yeah, for sure. If I get my mind set on something, like, that's all I can think about, and I work as hard as I possibly can towards that. Okay, and the very last one, because actually there's two more. Okay, so this one is that I don't smoke, and that's correct. I will say that, like, I feel like most teenagers nowadays, I had a phase, and I got over it very quickly because it just wasn't me. I think I was just kind of trying to fit in, and now I don't do anything. And the last question, which I don't know why, I just haven't like gotten around to saying it, but it's like been the elephant in the room for like a while now, that I quit my dance team. I quit it about honestly probably close to 2 months ago, at least a month ago, pretty much halfway through September, I think. And it was on my mind for a while. Some of you picked up on it. Some of you were like saying that, well, I had posted a video actually on my channel where I was like very upset and talking about how I felt like I couldn't handle it all. and that I had to get rid of something in my life. And at the end of the day, although, well, getting rid of school wasn't an option. And if I got rid of school and, like, if I got rid of school, then it would be school and dance anyways. So it was either get rid of dance or social media. And although for literally like 19 years of my life, dance was like the thing that made me happiest and was like my thing and the thing that like was better than everything else in my life, it just wasn't anymore. And I felt like if I didn't quit then it wouldn't be that for me anymore. Like I wanted to end before it got bad because I wanted to remember it as something good. I didn't want bad memories with it. I was really lucky and I didn't grow up in like a toxic studio environment like I feel like a lot of people do. Like I had one of the most loving like studios in high school, and then my first dance team, at least for the first year, like my first college dance team, at least for the first year, was like a really good experience. And the year, like the next year was okay. We didn't have a coach, but like we made the best of it. But it was just not like what made me happiest anymore, and it wasn't like making my life better. It was actually making it much harder because I was dealing with technically like 3 full-time things. Like school was full-time and social media was full-time and dance was full-time, and I had just moved pretty much across the country. Like I moved straight down the country away from my family, and I also on top of that had to move twice because of situations that I talked about before. But like I just had too much on my plate and it just wasn't doing it for me anymore. And so I quit, and I think maybe I could do a whole separate video on this, but it was like a very hard decision for me. I thought about it for like weeks, and even after I made it, I had no idea if it was right, and I definitely regretted it for a minute, and just was like, I felt like I was giving up. And it's not their fault, but people in my life that know me well were like, but you worked so hard for this, and like you were so excited, and that's the whole reason you moved to Florida. And like, yes, but also the whole reason I moved to Florida was like to find myself and to better myself and to live like my happiest life. And dance just wasn't that anymore. It was doing my own thing in social media. And yeah, so that's how I came to the decision. And I think it definitely has like had some repercussions, like rooted more deeply, which I think I could get into in another video. But I think quitting dance has led to some heightened self-confidence issues, because I was always confident in dance and in my abilities to dance. And then like if you get rid of the one thing you're most confident in, like I feel like it's kind of normal to feel less confident, if that makes sense. But I could do a whole other video on that. But yeah, moral of the story is I quit dance. But I am still in school, and no, me and Avery did not break up. Those were also 2 questions that I got like 50 billion times. Okay, so that's all. I hope I answered a lot of your assumptions. Maybe I'll do a part 2 if you guys like have more. But let me know in the comments if you liked this or if you learned anything new about me. I feel like I'm pretty open, so you might have already like known a lot of this. But yeah, the last assumption was probably a surprise to a lot of you, or maybe not. I don't know. But anyways, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!